So one of the main challenges is to balance the very specific demands of their citizens and the variety of types of citizens, the variety of types of demands, with the demands of the governments to relate to the nations or to other cities, so the world of cities in a way. The localized demands of citizens sometimes have no way of being articulated like the national demands. Migrants are a typical example because sometimes their demands are not compatible to national, the ways in which nations relate to them, but the cities want to give them rights to citizenship, for example, that would not be able to have at a national context. So that would be one example. Well, there are many things. Fear is the most obvious of them, but I think fear sometimes is just an excuse or something that is manipulated by many people. So with the excuse that there is violence, for example, and that people are afraid of violence, you can build lots of separations and segregation that really are responding to other questions. So one of the things that walls respond to are fears created by social transformation. So for example, cities, both in Brazil and in South Africa, started to build walls the moment in which they are transformed. Both like Brazil democratized, or you end apartheid in South Africa, and then you start to build walls. And I think the example of South Africa is very interesting because the whole policy of apartheid was made without walls. And walls only started to be built in South Africa regularly after the end of apartheid. And so it was like the moment in which you open politically that you needed walls, and this has nothing to do with crime per se. Because the role is to force change, is to force limits, is to transgress what is established, is to call attention to a process of discrimination. But I think that countercultural movements, usually they are showing society where changes need to be made, and they are articulating those needs of transformation in very explicit ways. So they are transgressive movements. They are showing the things that they are having like the courage to point out for the things that are not working, where injustice is, where inequality is, where discrimination is, and they are forcing transformations.